somebody drank all of this wine. It might have been me.
And TCM Wine Club always keeps the movie conversation flowing.
Saw the forced perspective shot, in-camera trick.
It was not Safety Last. It was actually a film called Feet First.
Join now for a special offer featuring 15 wines, including 3 movie wines for an incredible value.
That movie was actually really good.
That's like wine. It's an acquired.
There you go.
I love movie people.
Raise a glass with your favorite cast of characters. Go to TCMWineclub.com.
I'm Eddie Muller. Welcome back to my dark corner of the TCM universe. Since Noir Alley began, we've offered both esteemed examples of film noir and more than a few relative obscurities. Tried to balance things between A and B titles, which is how folks experienced picture shows back when these films were first released. Back in the day, B signified a lower budget genre film, typically less than 80 minutes. Today's movie, Desperate, is a bona fide B from 1947, only 73 minutes and made on a minuscule budget. But when it came to advancing the film noir movement, Desperate had outsized significance. It was the first in a series of exceptional noir dramas directed by Anthony Mann, arguably the greatest American-born director in a genre dominated by European directors. Mann had worked as an assistant director on Broadway and served his movie apprenticeship under David O. Selznick. But it wasn't until he began directing programmers for the B units at Republic, PRC, and Paramount that Mann really began to hone his craft. Desperate, made for the B unit at RKO, was the first time the director felt he created an Anthony Mann film. The story, co-credited to Mann and Dorothy Atlas, is almost cartoonishly simple. You drive a truck through some of the plot holes, but its simplicity plays to Mann's strengths, creating dynamic life-and-death confrontations that feel both mythic and scarily intimate. He's helped immeasurably by cinematographer George Discount, whose work here is the equal of other noir-centric DPs like John Alton and Nicholas Musaraka. Amazingly, this is only Discount's third feature film assignment, yet he creates a mood second to none. Actor Steve Brody is a familiar face in Noir Alley, having appeared in Out of the Past, Crossfire, and Armored Car Robbery. But today's film was Brody's first starring role. He was one of those actors stuck between a rock and a hard place. Good-looking, but lacking leading man charisma. As a character actor, he had no distinguishing physical or vocal characteristics to set him apart. Even his real name was plain, John Stevens. But once he changed his name to Steve Brody, after the New York bookmaker and daredevil who had jumped off the Brooklyn Bridge as a publicity stunt, he never looked back. What he lacked in uniqueness, Brody made up for with professionalism and versatility, typically as a friend or foe of the leading man. And Out of the Past, he was both, starting out as Private Eye Robert Mitchum's partner and ending up in a roaring fistfight with his former pal. According to Kevin Brody, the actor's son, his father had met Mitchum when they were both on a Georgia chain gang. Mitch was in for vagrancy, and Brody for running moonshine across state lines. Once loose, the pair headed for Hollywood together. After a short stint at MGM, Brody found his real home, RKO Radio Pictures, the House of Noir, which meant a reunion with Mitchum, also under contract to RKO. In fact, they lived together during those heady days in 46 and 47 when Mitchum was beginning his rise to stardom. It was good times for Steve Brody, too, as the 6 movies he made for RKO in 1947 kick-started a long career, mostly in westerns and crime pictures. In one of those 1947 odors, a B-western called Code of the West, Brody performed with a young actor named Raymond Burr, only his 3rd credit in the film. Once he had the lead in Desperate, Brody begged Anthony Mann to cast Burr as his nemesis. So began Burr's run as the heaviest heavy of the noir era. We have Steve Brody to thank for that. From 1947, with a screenplay by Harry Essex and additional dialogue by Martin Rankin, here is Desperate.